So, as a glasses wearer, I am used to seeing life through a few different lenses and only my lenses. I'm used to seeing it through my eyeballs, of course, and through these two frames for my glasses. But since you guys are finding more about me today, it is only fair that you guys start to see my life through my lenses. I thought it was appropriate to start off with my all-time favorite food because it is quite frankly 6 o'clock and it is past dinner time for me. So, in that spirit, I brought to the speech my all-time favorite food, which is peanut butter. Yes, it's not pizza, it's not steak, it's not anything like that. It is peanut butter. I love peanut butter because it is so versatile. It can go in ice cream, it can go in cookies, it can go in cakes, it can go on a lot of different stuff. But my all time favorite way to eat peanut butter is because whenever I was growing up, we didn't have a ton of money, and my mom didn't really like to bake a ton just for like everyday use. So the best way to consume peanut butter is simply just to unscrew the lid, get a spoon, dip it, and kind of eat peanut butter the old-fashioned way. Crunchy peanut butter is my all-time favorite peanut butter. Do not at me on that. Crunchy is far, far superior, and I understand that's a controversial statement, and it is even controversial within my own home. My wife hates crunchy peanut butter, but we found a good compromise, and that compromise is I still eat crunchy peanut butter. It is only super duper fair as your English teacher for them to share what their all time favorite book is, and it is this. It is Cormac McCarthy's The Road. You're probably asking, Mr. Fitch, why don't you just show the actual book and just a printed off piece of paper with the cover on it? That is a very fair question. I've moved a lot over the past several years, and if you guys have moved, you guys understand that whenever you move, you just lose stuff randomly. Sometimes you think it gets included and it doesn't. Sometimes your wife puts stuff in boxes and sends those boxes to Goodwill. It's happened, and I'm pretty sure that's what happened with this. My all-time favorite book. I have another copy coming, and that copy is going to be in the classroom. And I highly recommend you guys check it out. I read this in college for the very first time, and I could not put it down because it is just so dark, but it's weirdly beautiful. It takes place in a post-apocalyptic landscape. So basically, the end of the world has happened, and it follows this man and his son. And what's interesting is that we never find out their names. The narrator just refers to them as the man and the boy. And they have to travel, and they're supposed to get to this coast where they can hopefully meet up with other people and stuff like that. But they don't really know if that place exists, but it's something that fuels them. It gives them the fire to survive in this landscape. The dad is really sick, and so it's like there's this constant dread that he's going to die and stuff like that. Spoiler alert, there's a scene in it where I mentioned there's some dark stuff going on, and that's true. There's one scene where all I will say is that there are so few people alive in this book that a lot of people are used as food sources. That's all I'm going to say. It's disgusting, but it's also awesome to read, and I highly recommend you guys check it out. There's also a movie, but the book is good, and the movie's pretty good too. Next on the list is something that you guys have noticed during the Investigate Your Teacher Challenge, and that is my affinity for music. I love music. I come from a very musical family. My dad used to play music for a living with some of his cousins and stuff like that. And I too, for a very brief period of time, actually tried to pursue music as a career. I'm a drummer, just like my dad is, and that's what I did for a really, really long time. I believe it or not, your English teacher was a part of a rock band, and we traveled all across the country. I've been featured on the radio. I believe it or not, I've actually been in magazines before, and it was an awesome part of my life. I got to play all over the country. I got to meet so many awesome people. I used to drive back and forth between here and Nashville, Tennessee, to meet up with music friends and record music and write music and stuff like that. It was a really, really cool part of my life. However, that is the past part of my life. But the present part of my life, and the reason why I kind of closed that music chapter, is because I had to make the transition to teaching. All right. This is, you've probably seen a lot of your teachers wear lanyards before. This is my very first teacher lanyard that I have ever had. My senior year in college, I had an awesome opportunity to work as a reading teacher through this program called AmeriCorps. And I worked at DeSoto Grade School right outside of Carbondale, and I had to work with elementary school kids, and it was an awesome opportunity. In fact, that experience like sealed the deal for me for sure that teaching is my calling. I went from elementary school kids to high school age kids, just because I felt like I could connect with young adults who are trying to figure out the next stage in their lives a little bit easier. And I'm so glad that I made that move. And teaching is honestly the biggest passion of my life. I love being around students. I love being able to teach them something new. And it's something that I hold near and dear, just like I hold this lanyard, which I will always have very near and dear to my heart. It's got some pins and stuff, pencil and whatnot. And yeah, I don't think I'll wear it again just because it holds that many good memories. I just want to keep it as a keepsake. Last but certainly not least, this is a major news in the Fitch household. Right now, my wife and I, we are very, very excited because we are expecting our first child in March. March 15th is when it is due. We are so super duper excited. My baby, that little blob that's about the size of a raspberry right now, is my baby. And we are extremely excited. I've always wanted to be a dad. Kids are near and dear to my heart. And we are just kind of taking it all in right now, going to doctor's appointments and reading a whole bunch of parenting books and what to expect books and stuff like that. So if you have any leftover, if you guys have younger brothers and sisters or something like that, and you have any leftover, diapers would be awesome to send to Mr. Fitch's way. But we are super duper excited to be welcoming our first kid. We do not know if it's a boy or a girl yet. But we're just taking it all in and moving back home and stuff like that. It is a really, really crazy time to be introducing a baby into this world, and on top of everything, moving back home and stuff. But we're very, very excited to have this chapter in our lives be here. So hopefully now you have seen what life is like through Mr. Fitch's lenses. Thanks, guys.